Happy Monday, everybody. This video will be in preparation for our September festivities and mostly centered around the WTF nature of our world. Full disclosure, this video is going to happen while I was eating my BLT, just to fuck with people a little bit, but I decided against that, and I will be eating my BLT when I'm done with this video. Anyways, let's get to the points that we need to talk about. Oh boy, there's a lot, so stay buckled in. One of the governing bodies of this whole mental project that we found ourselves in the last 6 months is what someone just mentioned was 3 months long, but actually it's been since March. And what is time really? Now we're into September tomorrow. So for the last almost 6 months, we have been told to follow a set of rules. There's been some following along, and there's been some asking questions while following along. And then there's been some who just have been off-grid and minding their own business, not dealing with any of this crap. So, to each their own. However, I've been one in the middle, trying to figure out where all of this is going. And a couple days ago, CDC released some data. We, meaning me and people that are of the same school of thought that I am, we're not surprised to hear that they only attributed 6% of the total US deaths to actually being COVID related. The other 94%, for everyone who isn't hip to math or is just shooketh by that 6%, had at least 2 comorbidities. And so those are things like chronic inflammation, diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, any other host of comorbidity that got coupled along with number 1, number 2, and then number 3 was COVID. So basically a global shutdown because we're not the only country dealing with this, right? This is across the globe. I literally just listened to a live yesterday of some dude who's in Indonesia, and he is on the side that's like, he's not complying with any of this. He is, one with his center and his higher power, and he just doesn't give a fuck. So, cheers to you, my brother. That's Bali Blue. Anyways, the main thing that I am concerned with is people were going along with what the CDC was recommending all along, and now I find that most of those people still are going to have a problem with, oh, well, 10,000 deaths is 10,000 too many, and blah, blah, blah. Fine. For people who can't make peace with death, I get it. I need you to realize something. Everyone that comes here comes to die, okay? We're just rocking our little physical body spacesuits until we go on to the next iteration of our soul's journey. So once you make peace with that, you're going to live a much more comfortable life. So of these 6%, which boils down to under 10,000 deaths, basically at this point, COVID was the main reason why they died. But with COVID being the main reason why they died, the PCR test that happens is unable, stick with me, the test that says you have COVID is unable to distinguish from other RNA type diseases of virus, such as the flu. Now, you wonder, what happened to the flu? And someone smarter than me led me to think about that. Why haven't we talked about anything having to do with the flu? Well, some people have, but, you know, it got shoved off. So if you mean to tell me that for the last 6 months, we've all been running around yelling at each other, wear masks, do this, do whatever, and everyone who lost their minds about so many people dying and blah, 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 of these 6% equals under 10,000 deaths, some of those might even have been the flu, the regular good old flu. Flu A, flu B. I don't know if there's a flu C, but anyways, you get what I'm saying? Just keep breaking the numbers down. And I've always been a numbers girl. I used to be a math tutor. Surprise, surprise. Big old nerd over here. And data and numbers can always be manipulated into your advantage. So I'm just wondering, with the people who have wanted to stop the global economy to keep everyone safe and we're in this together, I'm not belittling that. I'm just saying, for all of those people, are you gonna have a problem with this 6% in black and white on CDC's website telling us what exactly? That you were duped? That you were lied to? That all of this was for what? A political agenda, maybe? Interesting. And someone, again, smarter than me, because that's who I look to. I want someone smarter than me to be the resource for when I don't think of things, has already pinned great news, 6%, less than 10,000 deaths. They've already mentioned that somehow they're going to pin this on Trump to say that he fixed the data, he paid the CDC, blah, 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 whatever is going to transpire. So you heard it here first by way of Everett Asher. You should check her out. Bitch is fucking hilarious. Love her. I'll tag her here. And I can already see the wheels spinning of like, how are we going to play this in the mainstream media? Because guess what? Hasn't even made it to mainstream media. No one really is reporting on it except for the conspiracy theorists who are just going by what is written right before you in black and white, plain sight right in front of you. They're just getting away with lie after lie after lie. And so my thing is, they can blame it on Trump. They blame the deaths on Trump. They'll blame the 6% only numbers on Trump, like 10,000 too many. Okay, we get it. You don't like Trump. Moving on. This is above that, which is what I posed to Everett. And I was just like, how is the next level, how do we get to the next level of understanding when things are so like foggy and hazy? I guess just time. We just wait and see. As it unfolds, I mean, I don't know how they're going to keep spinning this. They do. And everyone just seems to keep going along with it. So on this post, before I post this video, I said, you know, please come to me and let me know how shutting down a global, not only economy, but just way of life, like the life that I want to live has been impeded upon. So much so that pretty much everything in my life, my belief system, my political affiliation, where I want to live in the world, like all of that has been upended, which is a beautiful process for me. I have never felt better and more alive and more surrounded with love and understanding and compassion. And meanwhile, all the people who have been posing in my life as that's what they were here for, no one's knocking on my door anymore. No one's calling me on the phone. No one's writing messages or responses to this. And I'm just wondering why. Do you think I've lost my mind? Because a lot of people on this track have found each other. And that's a great thing. Because when we look back 50 years from now or 40 years from now, I keep saying 40 more years to live, and that puts me at about 81. People will say, oh, I remember yada yada was part of the whole, like, trying to get us to wake the fuck up movement. That's where I would like my name to be inserted. Hello, thank you, everyone. I'm here to bear the brunt of this with you. I'm just walking around in this physical body, human spacesuit, and trying to live life. That's all I'm trying to do. And help humanity while I'm at it. There you have it. So much so that people's marriages have fallen apart, or, you know, have been impacted greatly by this because we just can't stay quiet anymore. And I've seen a couple memes circulating, which I think are hilarious for all the girls and boys, I guess, who, the particular meme said girls, but boys, what's coming to mind when I mention him coming up, who got the check mark on their report card. Kids, if you don't know what report cards are, just ask your parents. Anyways, report card check mark for talks too much. And I've come to the realization just today, okay? Just today, that little check mark was not socially acceptable. And you were deemed unruly, you know, it's a bad thing to be talkative, but now all these motherfuckers are just letting loose. And I'm one of them, here to unveil all of the realizations of life with you for free. Come along with me. Join me. We'll journey together. And the person who inspired this mostly was the live that was on yesterday with Joe Yee, MD, who basically said, you know, his wife, who thinks he's like fucking cuckoo, he's actually a psychiatrist who's fucking amazing, had to stop following him on social media because she just can't, like, engage in this. But I guess he worked something out where she watched 15 minutes of the Plandemic and ended up watching the whole thing. So, people, this is real. This is no longer a conspiracy. And if you look up conspiracy on good old Wikipedia, the first thing that pops up is political motivation. Now, I talked, I don't even know how many videos ago, about the masks not being political, and everyone said, oh, this is not being about political in any way, shape, or form. Yet you had the Democratic nominee stand up on the podium and say that the first day in office of being the president of the United States, he was gonna put a mask on everybody. And Joe Yee, holler at you, girl. Smagical. It's not magical. I know it's confusing. But anyways, Smagical is here to say, I'm not playing this fucking video game anymore either. 6% of deaths, some of which probably hasn't been said yet, but could be attributed to just the flu. It's over. The jig is fucking up, guys. It's over. You got plenty of people proclaiming that there's no more pandemic. I'm going to have to go through the rhetoric of filling out my fucking health survey, going to, you know, push my little buttons on the motherboard where I work. I won't say because I'm sure they're tracking me already. Probably going to get fucking censored. I don't care. I don't care. There's so many people who need to know that the jig is up. And for those of you who are checkboxed talkative and you were muzzled since you've been 9 or 10, and a lot of things transpired when I was 9 or 10. I wasn't allowed to have emotion when my dad died. I wasn't allowed to speak up when my mom was a drug and alcohol abuser. There's so much now that I can't be quiet about anymore, and I'm for your good. I'm not trying to out myself for them, you know, the authorities to come get me and the mask police to arrest me. I'm just trying to help people. That's it. That's my only agenda. I don't want your money. I mean, maybe later I'll ask for money when I get fired. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, guys, seriously. Seriously. I'm okay. I'm of sound mind. I meditate. I eat well. I don't imbibe in booze or drugs. I mean, I'll take the occasional CBD gummy, but even then, that's it. Your girl's pure over here, okay? Pure intentions, pure heart, pure soul, just trying to come to you and tell you that there's hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. If I could turn this camera around and figure out that function without fucking cutting this video off, I would do it. But there is sun shining out my window, has been the whole entirety of this pandemic. And you've seen other videos of mine with my sun mask on. I love that representation. I love that symbol. That means that there is hope. And if I can tell you anything in my life that has worked, it has to get on the fucking hope train, get on the faith train, pray to whatever God you believe in, and mean it. Not this fake bullshit, oh, I pray for my sin, you know, whatever. No, real shit. Relinquish your will. It's not yours to do. This is all written in the stars. This is all for our highest good, regardless of what arguments you're getting into, regardless of whatever. If you don't see it my way, that's fine too. Like I said, through all this time, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, but I am here for you. If you have seen the light or you have heard anything that I have said that has rung true and that you need someone to rely on, you can come to me. You can rely on me. And I'll use a beautiful metaphor that's been used by someone who unfortunately is tied up in the Black Lives Matter movement. And I say unfortunately because that shit goes deep. I pray that they see through it, and that is Janiyah FutureCon. Beautiful speaker, amazing thought-provoking leader, and I know eventually they will be on the other side of that. And the metaphor is of penguins. And when penguins are on the spiral of life together, they shield those who, and it was said much better than this, but I'll try my best. They are on a spiral, and the cold penguins get to go to the center of the spiral, while the ones who have been warmed on the center go to shield those on the inside. And I just think it's a beautiful metaphor for what we're going through right now. I'm a warm penguin. I'm happy to be on the outside right now, looking in, helping you, protecting you, holding you, giving you space to make it somehow to the outside too, so that you can, you know, gift this to your family and your friends and your colleagues and your professionals and your strangers and your neighbors and just humanity, because that's all that it's about. So with that, peace and love. I'm going to go eat my BLT. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Hopefully this whole video posts, and see you guys soon.